Hello, what's up, YouTube? Ooh. So I recently watched a thing on YouTube. I think it was watchculture.com. They, of course, have their YouTube channel, and they were discussing what they... Is this game ever gonna load? They're discussing what they think the best guns would be for a zombie apocalypse. And quite frankly, I disagree with them. Well, not entirely so, but I do disagree with the fact that they didn't mention quite a few arms that would have been good. I figured since the background discussion would mention quite a few arms that are actually featured in Call of Duty Black Ops. Not all of them will be, but some of them are. That would play Call of Duty Black Ops while I do that. Why is this controller not working? Is this controller like fucking retarded? Oh, it would help if he actually fucking worked. I wouldn't have to fucking disconnect you in the first place. Jesus. Come on. There we go. And of course, there are people in the comment section that are just, of course, saying dumb shit. Mentioning dumb guns that don't make any sense. And applying dumb logic that doesn't actually work. Now, I'm not going to play online because I want to try to, I guess really, I can't really display real life guns on a fake video game. If my fucking right analog stick can work, that'd be great. I forgot Prestige recently. That's gonna be... There we go. And... Of course, since I'm going to be talking about some guns, I'm of course going to want to actually try to include those in the video. And one of the things that always gets me, and everybody always mentions shotguns. And shotguns would be actually really bad in a zombie apocalypse, believe it or not. And the quite and simple reason of that being, zombies have a disease. We can all agree on that. If we're talking about zombies, probably gonna have some kind of weird ass disease or something. A zombie having its chunks blown all over you at close range is not a good idea. Now, granted, you would not actually use a shotgun at very close range like you do in video games. You would use it at more of a distance. The fact that you don't want to use it at close range can also be a problem, to say the least. And the reason being, if it's not already obvious, is of course the fact, that zombies are going to run at you. They're not going to sit still and wait for you or anything. They're going to run at you and attack you. That's the idea of a zombie, isn't it? So it's really the matter of the fact that shotguns have a tendency to blow chunks everywhere at a close range that you don't want to use a shotgun. But to be fair, I mean, even a 9mm will make your head explode like a watermelon. So with that in mind, you know, you can't fault a shotgun too much on that. Now, one of the very first weapons that would be one of the best things used in zombie apocalypse would be your typical like AR-15 type weapons. There are better versions as opposed to an AR-15. There are worse versions, you know. But I mean, AR-15s are common. They're cheap. Their parts are also common. The ammo is common. You know, good fire rate. They're generally reliable, and they're decent. Could you find better versions? You know, does China make some better version knockoff rifle, or does, you know, Germany make some better knockoff version, or Spain, or whatever? Of course, there's always going to be those. Wow, when did I become shit this time? Now, another weapon that people don't want to mention is the Python. What's wrong with Python? Python's got good range, it's accurate, it's devastating. You know, it's a good sidearm. It was very popular in law enforcement. 357 Magnum rounds are not very uncommon. They really aren't. They're actually pretty damn common. Not as common as, say, like 9mm, but they're as common as a 38 or a 32. You know, so it's like, what's wrong with the Python? You know. Now, Pythons themselves are pretty rare and obscure, but 357 Magnums in general, or just revolvers, would be a good, reliable, and robust option. Albeit not the greatest weapon, it wouldn't be the worst weapon either. One of the other things I always get into, too, is there's also different revolvers, chambered in different things, and they do have a history, and they are, you know, it's a repeated history that is still continued in today, and we still, you know, use revolvers even in today's time, and that's a very clear sign that revolvers are actually surprisingly good. Now, you could argue at the lack of ammo, and that is true. But then here's the thing is, you know, there's things like, you know, the New York reload, where you just have multiple revolvers, you just pull another one out, you know, and then here's the other thing, if you need multiple rounds to kill something that, oh, what the hell? You need multiple rounds to kill something that's going to run at you blindly like a wild animal, and is going to go down in 1 or 2 bullets, then you need to work on your marksmanship. So, idealistically, in a, you know, attacker scenario with like a knife attack or something, revolvers are outdated, but against a zombie, not really. Now, one of the things that also kills me is when people think of guns, they think that they need stopping power for a zombie, and it's like, no, you don't. Like, you really don't. And I say that because what basis would a zombie require stopping power? I mean, they're basically a person that's dumb. Anything that's going to stop a person would stop a zombie. Another thing that people don't mention, and I don't have it equipped in the classes or whatever, but it's like the video mentions the AK-47. The AK-47 is a great weapon and everything. It has its fan following, just like the AR-15, and it has its advantages and disadvantages. You know, the AR-10 can do the same things that an AK can, but the AK will outperform the AR-15 in areas. You know. But it's like, you're going to mention that gun, but you're not going to mention the Galil. You know, the gun that is basically the AK-47, but superior to the AK-47 in every single way possible. And that's true. And I'm not making shit up. Israel had their ass handed to them by the Russians. Okay? They were very impressed with AK afterwards. So they wanted to make the AK-47, but they wanted to make it better. What in the fuck? I shot him in... Okay, whatever. But that being said, they were robust guns. They're more durable. They have better accuracy. They still have some kick, but they have less recoil overall. Okay, they fire the same ammunition. They're all around decent weapons. And of course, they include a ball opener and a wire cutter. You know, and then here's the other thing, 1911s. It's like, yeah, okay, 1911s only hold 7 rounds. But once again, if you need more than 7 rounds, you're doing something wrong. And here's the other thing, you can get 1911s in double stack magazines that hold 14 rounds. That's a thing that actually exists and that you can do. You know, we act like extended mags don't exist. That's the other thing. Not only that, but then it's like, MP5 is great. Like, you know, the MP5 is really great. It's a really great SMG. It's very popular now. It's still used to this day. It would be good in a zombie apocalypse, except parts are rare, and the MP5 is, for all intents and purposes, not the most robust gun. And a Remington would be good, again, except if zombies get too close, you're blowing chunks everywhere. You don't want to blow chunks everywhere. You want to blow chunks away from you, not all around the sides and everything. So, as I mentioned, Spectre's good, but, or excuse me, the MP5 is good, but what about the MP7? You know, that didn't get mentioned. Or how about this gun that my character is holding right at the moment, the Spectre? Or if you're in Europe, it's the Firehawk Falcon Fist. Now, if you don't know about this weapon, its history is pretty simple. It has a double-stacked magazine that holds 30 rounds, and basically a Spanish company set out to design a better SMG than the MP5, and they actually succeeded. Now, the problem with that is that the Spectre basically came out after the MP5, and it's like law enforcement agencies had already spent their money on the MP5, and so they weren't going to change to the Spectre, even though it's actually better. So what is better about the Spectre? Well, for starters, the Spectre's more robust. It's better designed in this, or, you know, being durable. It's a nicer profile altogether. Not only is it a nicer profile, it has less recoil. The blowback is a little less irritating. You're not going to get a face full of gas. You know, you don't. I'm not saying you get a lot of the MP7, but you do get more of it than you would with the Spectre. Then, of course, there's the other fact that the Spectre has a interesting stock that takes up no space. It's a light and compact gun overall. It is a heavy SMG considering the materials it's made out of, but considering that this particular SMG is going to last a lot longer than the MP5 or the MP7, it makes it worth it. So what happened to the Spectre, you know, getting more into that, because it couldn't be sold because this law enforcement agencies already have the MP5, even though the MP5 was inferior, it was a gun that was just good enough. The company that made the Spectre unfortunately went bankrupt, which is why we don't see it nowadays. And currently, the people who do own the Spectre is Heckler & Co., which Heckler & Co. is the correct pronunciation. It's not Heckler & Koch, it's not Heckler & Coke, it's not Heckler & Koch. Okay, it's Heckler & Co. That's according to not only the German pronunciation, but that's also the English pronunciation. But Heckler & Co. own it, and nowadays you can get a Spectre pistol, which is in the full-size SMG form, but it's like semi-automatic, which is ridiculous. So it doesn't really make a good pistol, but in SMG form, it's phenomenal. It's like mind-blowing and way better than MP5. However, Heckler & Co. is not going to make those because they want to continue selling the MP5. And plus, there's just not a demand for the Spectre because the MP5 is a weapon that's good enough. Now, unfortunately, that makes the Spectre, more rare. But once you get your hands on one that's actually automatic, you don't really have too many worries after that. Like, that's like all that needs to be done. Speaking of SMGs, another SMG that's kind of ignored, looked over, is what about, the Mac 10 or the Mac 11? 45, one fires 45 ACP, the other fires 9mm rounds. Those are some common rounds, Not only are those some common rounds, but then you factor in that they're also robust guns. They've been around forever. They were popular with law enforcement, and, they're actually pretty common even in today's time. And there's a reason why they're popular with gangs. It's because it's a decent gun, decent fire rate, decent controllability for its size, and it's robust. That's not something you find in small packages in the firearm industry, especially when we're talking about SMGs. I mean, there's the Uzi, which was also, by the way, not mentioned, which is also really good. But, there's the, the G11, which is, of course, a Glock. That's also really good. And, of course, there's other things, but then there's also a lot of unreliable guns. And the Mac 10 is probably one of the more reliable ones. So is the Mac 11.
Friendly RCXD inbound.
And going off that tangent, going off of that, and there's, of course, there's the Uzi itself. The Uzi is so stupidly robust and so stupidly fucking durable that if you have a negative feed that causes pressure blowback, that causes the gun to fucking explode, you can actually fix the gun with a household fucking hammer. Yeah, that's right, you can hammer the blown up parts back into place and then continue firing the Uzi. Not only that, but Uzi is kind of like this dream gun that fucking everybody knows about and everybody wants. And that actually makes it common, believe it or not. All things aside, you're going to find the Uzi in nearly any country. And it's popular, whether it's civilians that want to reiterate movies, or it's, law enforcement, or the military, or just, gun companies and gun stores having it in stock. The Uzi's around. And not only that, but then, if you have a problem with the Uzi, being old and too big for being a compact, small, light package like it's supposed to be, well, there's the mini Uzi, which is pretty much the same thing, just smaller ammunition. And the Uzi, by the way, is actually not its actual name. The real name for the Uzi is the Israeli Super Gun. The reason being is because it's a really good gun for, guerrilla warfare tactics, or, in this case, fighting zombies. And Israeli seems to be, really good at making guns for whatever reason. And it's probably because of, all the wars and all their hostile neighbors. And the fact, that they have good allies, like, the United States at their side to guide them through, manufacture of firearms. And the fact that they don't have a lot of resources to manufacture firearms. Anyways, it's called the Israeli Super Gun because the guy who made it, the guy whose name was Uzi, did not want to be named after a weapon, simply because people would find him and try to fucking kill him if they knew he was the gun maker. So it's not actually named Uzi, or originally it wasn't named Uzi until after some of the major conflicts that was involved. gun too that should have been mentioned. And it was funny because they posted a segment in their video. They had Lord of War with Nicolas Cage in it. Really good movie in my opinion. But then again, I actually like Nicolas Cage. There was a segment where he says that the AK-47 is the most common rifle in the world, and that's not true. It's not true at all, actually. The most common assault rifle or defense rifle or combat rifle or rifle in the world, however you want to phrase it or look at it, personally I would just call it a rifle because that's what it actually is actually the FN-FAL. And the FN-FAL has been used around pretty much since its conception. There have been newer versions that are better, of course, but you know, every country in the world uses the FN-FAL. The FN-FAL is also popular with Navy SEALs way back when, but nowadays smaller arms and AR-15s are more popular. But that doesn't mean you should discount the FN-FAL, as the FN-FAL can be chambered in 5.56 or, of course, you know, 7.62 by 39, which, you know, that's basically AR-15 rounds or AK rounds, if you're not familiar with the terminology. And of course, then there's the other fact to keep in mind is the gun is so common and so under-recognized that you're probably gonna be able to find parts for it. Not only are you gonna be able to find parts for it, you're gonna be able to sit there and trade parts of more popular guns for parts of the FN-FAL and get away with it if you can manage to find somebody to trade with. Or there's, you know, the other thing that you can find an FN-FAL in the United States, okay, and decide to travel over to Europe and still be able to find the parts that you need over in Europe. You can find FN-FAL in Europe and then still find the parts that you need over in Australia or Canada or pretty much anywhere else in the entire world. They also didn't mention the RPD, which the RPD is, you know, not exactly entirely attainable. It's incredibly rare in the United States outside of the military, and it's not popular for, you know, LMG enthusiasts, because the redneck is going to probably want a gun that's not going to be used by ISIS or the Taliban. So of course they're going to want more like an MG48 or something. But the RPD is, you know, a belt-fed gun that has similarities to the AK and similarities to other belt-fed guns. And it does show some of the good reliability and track record. And you don't have to fire a full auto. You just, you know, use discretion when firing it. And so, you know, the idea of having a gun that holds 200 rounds and doesn't need to be reloaded every 10 fucking seconds might be good, might be bad. That really depends on you and what your preferences are. And especially considering if you're a person who's going to complain about the 1911 holding only 7 bullets, you might as well have an LMG that holds 200 fucking rounds on a belt. Of course, the RPD is going to be fucking heavy, but it's also going to boast superior range and firepower if you decide you need firepower against something that's going to run up on you like a mindless fucking animal, which you probably don't need firepower for. Then of course, you know, it's like, okay, what about places you can't get a 1911? What's the next best 1911 knockoff other than Kimber or things that be found in the United States but not found in, say, Russia? I mean, I don't know if Russia has 1911s or not, but I would like to assume that they don't. And that being said, what about the Czechoslovakian 75? Like, it's not as good as the 1911, but it's still a good gun. It still fires 45 ACP. It can be chambered to other things. It can be found in various different rounds that even the 1911 would be found in. Some of those obscure Russian rounds. Or, you know, going into that, speaking of obscure rounds, what about 410 shotguns? Okay, because they're not 410 shotguns not gonna have the same problem with 12 gauge where it's blowing chunks all over the place. And then, you know, same thing with the 20 gauge, because it's, you know, it's still a shotgun, it's still substantial, but it's not quite as much power. And then, of course, a little bit less recoil, which might be good for, you know, a beginner shooter. And that's actually what 410 shotguns and 20 gauge shotguns are used for, is for beginners. I mean, it's a common beginner weapon. There are rednecks that give their kid for their, you know, 10th, 14th, or 13th birthday a 410 shotgun, because they're good. And it doesn't need too much explanation, but you know, people just kind of glance over it, and it's like the rounds are just as common as 12 gauge. You're gonna find them everywhere. In fact, actually, I would argue in some places they might even be more common. Like here in California, 12 gauge rounds is actually harder to get than you would if you were to try to get 410 shotgun rounds. Plus, people don't frown on you when you use 410 or 20 gauge rounds. Now, speaking of that, what about the opposite side spectrum? A round that's more rare, but more power, and so much so that it blows shit down range. I mean, that's the problem with shotguns, is that they blow chunks everywhere instead of blowing shit down range like a bullet would. Which you could argue that you could just, of course, use a slug. And those are very common, but then it kind of kills the idea of having essentially a scattergun effect where you don't need to aim. Because with a slug, you will need to aim that slug. That being said, what about a 10 gauge? I mean, a black powder 10 gauge is rare, or, you know, even a newer 10 gauge is rare. But those guns are reliable. They've been around forever. And a double barrel 10 gauge can put a full fucking pound of lead downrange at a faster velocity than a 12 gauge could ever hope to achieve. And keep in mind, we've had 10 gauge shotguns since we've had muskets and fucking flintlock pistols. And, you know, you can only find, it's very hard to find brass casings that can be, you know, reused multiple times over and over again for a 12 gauge, whereas you can find them more commonly for a 10 gauge. Because that's what we started out with. We didn't start out with plastic or rubber or whatever it is that we use for a 12 gauge. Which, to be fair, I'm not like the most like expert wise, just knowledge wise, the greatest with firearms. This is just general knowledge and this and that. And there's probably guys that know more about this than me. And I would, you know, before those guys comment in the comment section like, oh, you didn't mention this and that, you know, it's like, it's probably because I don't know it. So if you do know more than me, and you know more than me, you should make your own video. You should mention me in your video, and, you know, what you disagree on, and you should tag me in your video so I can watch your video and learn something, because I do enjoy learning things. One of the other things, though, is, like, what about a grease gun? Like, I mean, America's had these grease guns forever, and the grease guns are basically like MP40 knockoff guns that Vietnam War, you know.
Friendly dogs inbound.
And then of course, then there's other guns like, what about the AUG? Okay, you know, or about the AUG H-bar, which is technically a different gun. Yes, the AUG H-bar really is an LMG, whereas the
Our
AUG
spy plane in the
is
air.
just an assault rifle. The Steyr STG, STGG, is a very good gun. It's not going to blow, gas in the back of your face like a DeVore would. The DeVore does have that issue. It's just like, if you want to fire a gun that blows gas in your face, the DeVore is for you. But then here's the other thing. The AUG, to rechamber it into a different round, all you do is you twist that fucking grip on the gun, you twist it around, you remove the barrel, and you replace the barrel with a different one. That's it. That's all you do to rechamber it into a different round. So if you need to fire in 5.56, you get a barrel that's for 5.56. If you need a barrel that's, for 7.62, you can do that as well. If you need a barrel that's for, what's the other round that people are firing it in? People are firing it the Mayor Pulse design gun. Oh, hey, here it is right now. Oh, I got killed picking it up. People fire that gun in all kinds of rounds. Some of them really obscure and some of them really common. But it's a good gun. And speaking of,
Friendly RCXD inbound.
guns like that, okay, 12 gauge shotguns don't just have to fire 12 gauge rounds.
Friendly
People
Samsung
have
on the
put
way.
double fucking gun in a 12 gauge shell and found that it could actually potentially be lethal. You can fit dimes, you can't fit quarters in a 12 gauge shell. You can, however, fit dimes. You can fit quarters in a 10 gauge shell, though. But, fitting flames and shotgun shells actually isn't effective. But fitting different munitions, like putting 9mm rounds in 12 gauge shells, actually works surprisingly well. Not as well if you were to just use 12 gauge rounds, but still, there's nails, there's fletchlets, there's dragon's breath, which I'm not sure dragon's breath will be effective against a zombie. But then again, if you used it as like a thing where you can't really kill the zombie at that moment, but you can light it on fire and it'll eventually die and you can run away, that might be an effective thing. But then again, those rounds are like super rare, exotic, and illegal, which, you don't want to stockpile those before a zombie apocalypse, because then the law enforcement agencies are going to see you as a troublemaker. And if law enforcement agencies see you as a troublemaker before a zombie apocalypse, when a zombie apocalypse comes, they're going to knock on your door first, and you're going to be the first person to have your guns taken away. Because they just don't simply trust you. So you do want to keep things in your arsenal that comply with the law, no matter how ridiculous a law may be, no matter how obnoxious or how unfun. You do want to stay on the good side of law enforcement before a zombie apocalypse.
Enemy spy plane incoming.
Now, with zombies, people don't seem to realize that in reality, spit and saliva is actually a poor mode of transformation, or I should say infection would be the proper term. And with that in mind, you could realistically be bitten by a zombie 5 or 6 times before you actually get infected.
Enemy sentry gun incoming.
And so it's good to keep in mind to not have too much firepower, because in a realistic zombie apocalypse, the main mode of transmission would be through blood contamination. That being said,
Show us where you want it.
That being said, you don't want to use a gun that's going to blow bloody chunks everywhere. You probably want to use something that's just good enough. Oh, my aim is shit. There we go. If I can't aim well, I'll just get on more fire.
Enemy RCXD spotted.
And here's the other thing. Sniper rifles may be like rare for ammunition in some cases, but then there's like the Ruger 22, which they did mention. But there's other sniper rifles that use more common ammunition. Some of them are even in pistol round. There's a lot of different Remingtons, a lot of different sports rifles and hunting rifles that would be good enough for a zombie apocalypse. Or, in even crossbows, old school, new school, whatever you want to use would be good enough as well, especially if you needed a quiet kill. In fact, a bow and arrow in most situations for a zombie apocalypse would probably be better than an actual firearm. And in truth, a decent melee arm, like, maybe a mace, a household hammer, or in such cases and things would actually probably also be better than a firearm. A spear would be really good, but it's like, what about spear throwers? I mean, that's not technically a firearm, but that's still pretty good in my opinion. Not only is that pretty good in my opinion, but you can still get distance, and what about blow dart guns? Like, we have gas-powered blow dart guns that hit as hard as a crossbow. They do lack penetration, but they can still puncture a skull, which is all you need for a zombie. That being said, they do hit as, at a velocity similar to that crossbow, so they do have a punch. Then on top of that, you're talking about small little darts that can, sit in a magazine that holds like fucking 300 of them. Then, it's like CO2 gas, which is really common, like, sports and sports stores, to baby guns and other things that might take them. That, even in cooking oriented stores, like the really fancy ones, will have CO2 gas cartridges. Then, of course, there's the other fact that blow dart guns are very fucking quiet.
Remember this victory, we have displayed our power.
And, if zombies really do pick up sounds and chase people for sounds, then a blow dart gun would be really good for that. And the other thing, of course, not only that, but there are BB guns that are actually accurate and powerful enough that if you hit somebody without face protection in the eye with a BB gun, it could actually kill them. And that being said, that's because the penetration is enough to reach the brain, and therefore there are BB guns that would be fucking deadly silent and be able to kill a zombie. So, that's just my whole take on it. I've mentioned numerous firearms, I've mentioned numerous other options, and it's just one of those things where it's like I see a video that mentions a bunch of firearms, and you can tell all they did was a Google search. They don't actually know anything. And, do feel free to comment your opinions, because there are probably guys out there that know a lot more about firearms that are going to have an opinion on this video. And I do welcome your opinion. Just keep it constructive criticism, and don't just resort to mindless insults, because that's detrimental to your argument. Anyways, like this video, subscribe if you want to see more of this. My channel's just kind of a mess. If you don't want to see more, well, then you don't have to subscribe. If you really want to dislike this video, you can dislike this video. I don't care either way. I would like to, for more people to see my videos though, and that would be kind of nice.